In this video, what I'm going to be doing is taking my iMac G5 and putting in a 500 gig Western Digital Caviar Black hard drive and installing Mac OS X Leopard on it. So right now you're staring at my desktop for my Hackintosh because we're going to format or erase this drive so it'll work on my iMac G5 and we can install Leopard. So I'm going to go ahead and put the drive in the docking station. I'm going to open up Disk Utility. So right here it's called Mavericks because it was my Mavericks drive on here but then Mavericks went crazy and I had to wipe it and get a different drive. So anyway, everything that I need is off of the drive. I copied it onto my main 1TB Hackintosh HD. So we're going to go over here and hit erase, and we'll call it just Macintosh HD for now. And whoa, that's laggy. Put this on, I believe it has to be master boot record. Okay, so it looks like it has to be Apple partition map, so we'll change it to that and we'll hit erase. And okay, it's done. No, don't use. Okay, we're gonna hit done, close out of that, eject that, and now the fun part, we can stick it into the iMac G5 and install Leopard. Alright, so here is the iMac. I'm just gonna go and start taking off these screws, but yep, this is the iMac. Here's the hard drive. We'll put it in here. I've got a Leopard USB stick cloning right now on my Hackintosh. We'll use that to install Leopard on here. So these screws don't actually come out, so I don't know if they're unscrewed or not, or unscrewed enough. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so here's the inside of the iMac. Right here is where the hard drive goes. I believe there's a screw somewhere for this bracket. Give me a minute. Yeah, I have a bunch of screws and the other bracket for the drive. So yeah, I'll see how I can mount this on. I know this screw is stripped over here, so it's not going anywhere, which makes things that much more difficult. But the way that this needs to go in is like this, with the SATA port, or the SATA ports, I guess you would call them, facing towards the SATA cables right here. So yeah, let me see if I can get this bracket on. Alright, so here, this is the right screwdriver, screw bit. Alright, so that's one screw in. Got one more. Alright, so both mounting screws are in, so now this is the hard part. Trying to get this in, trying to screw in the other. Oh, sorry, I'm blocking the frame. Oh, that's upside down. Great. So has to go this way. So I put this on the wrong. I put the bracket on the wrong side and in the wrong place, which is great. Just gotta have to remount it. Alright, so I flipped the computer around so you can see the hard drive bay, I guess you would call it, easier. So first things first, well, not normally, but here is to plug in the SATA cable, or cables. If I can. There we go, that's power, that's data. Okay, so they're both in, or other way around. Both SATA cables are in, and the hard drive is seated, so now what I need to do is tighten, or put in these two screws and the screw right here to hold the drive down. So I have these two, which I'm just going to screw them in finger tight, because I can't actually get my screwdriver down. No, that's not screwing into anything. Alright, put one screw in, and the other one. Alright, so that one's in. That drive's not going anywhere, except falling off on this side. So I'll screw it in with this screw. I now have the screws that I needed to screw in. Come on, focus. For this one right here, that little screw right there, and that gold screw right there. This camera does not like focusing. Alright, so everything's screwed in now. So now we can close it back up and install Leopard. Alright, so I'm in my garage now. I have the iMac G5 all set up next to my eMac. My dad's car is behind it, so sorry about the camera. It's being really annoying. Come on, focus. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and boot up the iMac, and we're going to boot into open firmware so we can type in some code and boot up from the USB drive, because you can't just hold down Option and boot from the USB drive as you would on a modern Mac. So we'll go ahead and turn it on. So I believe what it is that you type is boot USB, not sure. Okay, maybe it's UG. Yeah, no. Alright, hold on, I gotta look this up. Okay, I don't know if you can see that, but I've typed in the code. I'm going to hit enter and it should boot from USB stick. So 3, 2, 1. There we go. It's booting in. This might take a while, so this might take a while because it's going off of USB, but we'll see. Alright, so here we are on the Leopard screen. I'm going to go ahead and hit use English. Grab a different mouse. Alright, we're going to hit continue, agree, Macintosh HD, continue. I'm going to customize it. We don't need printer drivers. Don't need additional fonts. Don't need language translation. We probably don't need X11, but I'm going to leave it on anyway. And I'm going to hit install. So it's almost finished. It says about a minute left, but as we all know, that's never right. That's always a lie. So it's probably going to be a lot longer than a minute. But as soon as it restarts, I'll turn the camera back on so I can record the Leopard intro video. Alright, so the update is just finished and it says your computer will restart in 23 seconds. Click restart to restart your computer now, so I'm going to go ahead and just hit restart. And we should be greeted with the Leopard intro video. Should have made sure the volume was turned up. Alright, so the volume should be plenty loud. Alright, so Apple logo, spinny thing. Alright, so that was pretty awesome. But yeah, now we have this
Mac
issue.
OS X increase of build.
These lines at the top, this thing does have a failing graphics card, which is really unfortunate. But I guess we'll just have to deal with it. And we'll set up the Mac and we'll start using it. I guess not really anything to use it for, but it'd be fun to tinker with. Okay, so here it's that's really backwards. Alright, well, it says welcome right here, and then it's like choose your country. So United States, yep, continue. US, yep. Don't transfer. Yeah, I'm gonna sign into my network, which is not showing up. Hold on. Oh, it is. It's just, I guess this doesn't have 5 gigahertz. Alright, well. Alright, go continue. And my Apple ID. So this, I'm going to pause the video and I'll be right back. Alright, so it just had me enter in a whole bunch of private information. So now it's asking, or it says a few more steps, or a few more questions. Where will you primarily be using this? So, home. What describes what you do? I guess video and film. Sure, stay in touch. Okay, continue. Donald will be my short name. Password, be a quick password. Continue. Alright, so now it says thank you, and we'll hit, I'm going to zoom this out first. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and hit go, and it should bring us straight to our desktop, or to the login screen. Ah, desktop, okay. Alright, cool. So now I'm into Leopard on my desktop. That's interesting. It's showing my NAS upstairs, or more like router with USB stick in it. What I'm going to do is enable zooming. Should be able to use the mouse too. Change that to command. There we go. Now, oh great, screwed up the graphics. There we go. Oh, okay. Well, we'll have to deal with that. I'm gonna go ahead and change the mouse a little bit. Turn up the tracking speed. Turn up the scroll speed. Make that button 3. Make the secondary button. Make the expose. Alright, so that's Leopard all set up on here. I think if I change the display resolution, then yeah, it does fix the graphics a little bit. I mean, it doesn't look that great, but at least I don't have to deal with the graphics issue. So, yep, that's it for this video. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Before I go, this just popped up. It's a software update thing. So I'm going to hit show details so I can see what it has to do. So it's going to update iTunes, and it says Mac OS 10.5.8. What version is this? Oh, this is 10.5.4, and here you can see my specs. I got 1 gig of DDR RAM and a 2 GHz PowerPC G5. The drive is 500 gigs. So I'm gonna go switch over to Ethernet, and then we'll finish these updates. And yeah, that'll be that. I'd say this is going pretty fast. Well, I mean, it's downloading and my internet's pretty quick, so it says less than a minute. Of course, remember, those are always lies, although this one might be right. So it says 460-ish, 500 megs, 768 megs downloaded. So, yep, this should be going pretty quick. Alright, so it just finished downloading, which was pretty quick. Now it's asking if you want to restart, so zoom out first. Yep, restart. And now it's installing the updates, which might take a while. I'm going to say about 5 to 10 minutes, probably, at the least. But yeah, we'll see. So the iMac just finished its update, and it's now booting up. As you can see, again, great resolution. Well, not really. I had to turn it down so that I could, or so that it wouldn't display any of its graphics issues. I'm not sure what that is right there, but there's like a little black spot. I don't think it's a dead pixel, and it's not dirt, but it's been there ever since I've had it, so I don't know why that's there. Okay, interesting. Let's restart it again. For as loud as the drive is that I put in here, I can barely hear it when it's inside the iMac, but whenever it's in a drive enclosure or in a standard PC, it's super, super loud, but for whatever reason, when it's in an Apple computer, it's really quiet. It shows that Apple has good insulation on their computers. And there we go. We're back at the desktop. I guess I can turn off Wi-Fi since we're on Ethernet. I'll just quickly go over specs. Let's see. I'll start here. So it's a Power Mac 8,2, or Processor name is PowerMac G5 or PowerPC G5 3.1. It's 2 gigahertz. Clock speed. We got 1 gig of RAM in here. Probably need some more, but for now that'll be okay. Graphics and displays. Chipset is ATI RV351. Bus AGP. VRAM total is 128 meg, and it's an ATI card. It's a ATI RV351. So yeah, that's that. And in memory, I've just got 1 gig, 1 stick in here, and the second slot is empty. I believe this is a single 2 gigahertz G5, but I'm not sure about that. So it came with all the stock apps, obviously. I probably will install iLife 05, because when I got this, it came with a iLife 05 or 04 install disk. One of those, I'm not really sure. I don't know if it has pages on it, but that would be awesome if I could get pages on here. So any school work that I need to type up, I could just type it up on here. In my garage where it's quiet, other than the loud fan on here, and my really noisy but nice to type on keyboard. Screensaver, I'll show the clock on that, and I want hot corners, this one, restart screensaver. Alright, so that's that. It's all set up to my liking. Hopefully I can make some more videos on this, and I'll see you guys in the next one.